Well, hello there. Welcome, one and all, back to the Shield Wardens, my Shattered Lands setting. This will be session 20. When last we left off, we're going on one of the longest days ever. Randall and Hendricks went to pick up the cloaks. Then they went to impersonate Senator Hella and rack up a bill at the hotel that she was staying at. They stole some of the alcohol that was in her suite there. They had a tailor come to their room and measure Hendrix for a new outfit that's supposed to be being delivered to the Crispy Pig this evening. Then, as they were heading home, they encountered a little bit of a hardship with a group following them. Then they attempted to escape that group, who was able to kind of track them around the docks, was able to find them again at the docks anyways. And a battle ensued. Let's see. Pios played yo-yo with his life a little bit, popping down, getting up, popping down, getting up. We had our wonderful Randy run through all of his spells and sorcerer points, and kind of started off with almost nothing anyways, though. But he has a bow and arrow with a crazy random arrow selection of Doom. And that's kind of where we left off, on the dock with the group. I believe they had one of these people that had attacked them still kind of there, who had surrendered. And the leader of that group had run off. And that's where we'll return. So let's get back to our party. Hey, guys. So you have someone there kind of under custody at the moment who has surrendered. There is kind of damage and destruction around this dock. There's the ship that you guys were actually on was when we left off, still kind of right over the dock with Emmy, who is flying it. And she will start to, once she sees you kind of got it in control, she's going to bring the ship back up around and redock it along her family docks. And her dad's going to like slowly kind of come out and peek out and check and see how everyone's doing. What would you like to do?
This guy, we've got a captive basically. Have we tied him up? Yeah, I assume he's been bound. If not, I'll do that. Shall we take this guy back to Hela? Try and figure out who was attacking us?
Yeah, let's take her back to Hela. Well, don't take her back to Hela, but let's get back to Hela for sure.
Well, what are we doing about this one tied up?
Let's put them onto the skiff. Yeah.
Get the skiff to meet us.
Yeah. Get the skiff to go out into the center of the harbor and just hang out there for a while. And then to, when our ship starts leaving its moorings, to meet us at that point and drop off its cargo. That way we can avoid it.
Okay. And do we want to leave somebody with that? Or are we just letting that be with this child and scared father?
I look at Emmy. I go, do I see like a child or do I see a capable individual?
I mean, she is roughly, a human teen, probably, mid-teens, maybe 15, 16 years old, I think. But she seems to have handled herself pretty well, and she kind of crosses her arms and almost gives a pout. I'm no child.
I think you have your answer there. Emmy, I point to our ship surreptitiously. You mark the one there.
So which ship are you pointing at? Are you pointing at the tragedy, the Theodosia's? Okay.
Yeah. Wait, Theodosia's ship is called the Tragedy?
Yeah.
That's not a problem. I mean, why don't you just call it the Plague Host and be done with it? All right, that's fine.
Well, it's called the Tragedy, and it has the mass, the mass for upon the ship. Like, it's the personal sigil worked onto it.
I guess it's better than being on the clown ship comedy. That's a painful exercise.
Hey, when you guys make me come up with things on the fly, it doesn't mean it's always going to be the most perfect.
No, it's not about you making stuff up on the fly. It's just I had this sudden image of like Theodosia being on this, and like she's got literally nothing but portents coming at her. Yeah. She's just like, no, wait, man, I spit in the face of all of the things you say, Segranis.
Yeah. So yeah, she looks over and nods. I know that ship pretty well.
When you see it move, come to the starboard side. We'll bring you up. Okay.
All right.
And for your troubles, obviously, we will reimburse you. So don't worry about that.
I'm sure you will. If nothing else, you'll have her do it.
Being more concerned now that we're just leaving this captor, I will proceed to double check my knots and then put a bag and a gag over the head. So a gag, then a bag. Or a bag, then a gag. It don't really matter.
I give Emmy the Seeker Dart dagger, and I say, if he causes problems, aim for his balls, and then follow up and kick it into his balls again. Yeah?
All right. It's kind of what my dad tells me when I go out with a man.
I say the same thing to myself when I go out with men, so it's fine. Yeah.
She gives you a look like, okay.
Okay. At which point I'm like pushing off the skiff and just looking out around. Do I get a sense that is anyone else watching from distance?
I mean, you can give me a perception check. On surface, no matter what, you will notice that there is kind of a crowd that has formed around this particular dock area, having seen this kind of battle ensue upon the docks.
Right. I guess what I'm asking is, with a 19 on there, outside of the usual rubbernecks and of those rubbernecks, I have to take into account who are those people who are going to report to a law enforcement agency, but who are the people that are watching who are professionals?
Scanning the crowd, it pretty much just seems like local, like dock workers, vendors of the area. It doesn't seem like anyone paying in particular attention to specifics as far as being like professionally designed to be there.
Right. Of course, if they were very professional, there's no way I'd actually know they were there in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, you feel that you took a pretty good, thorough scan of the crowd, and you feel pretty decent about that.
Okay. Philos, Lucius, how are you feeling?
Philos is badly injured.
Let's get you on the ship.
I felt like I could have died a few times.
You did? To be honest with you, right?
Could have.
Definitely went down a couple times there. It's a bit hit or miss.
Philos does not like arrows, especially when it comes from many of them.
Yeah, arrows are absolutely the worst. Like pushing the quiver behind my back. Yeah, I hear you, bruv. They're cowards to use them. It really is what that is.
Indeed.
Anyway. So can we walk to the tragedy? And can we stow Pyos so he's in a safe place?
I mean, you know where the tragedy is. It's not too far away. You were only a few docks down from the tragedy, so you can get there. It's up to you all and Pyos whether, he wants to sleep aboard the tragedy or whether he'd want to do something else. When last you guys left off, Theodosia was in her apartments in the Jade Lion. Segranis was going to go back to his thing, and everyone was going to meet up at the Crispy Pig
right
6 hours after midday.
Yeah. That was before we were found out to be followed by an entire cadre of trained assassins.
Just
things changed, man.
Just dropping it. Dropping it out there.
I don't think they were trained assassins because they were pretty sloppy.
Yeah.
Okay. Untrained assassins. Can we agree that they wanted to kill us?
They were mercenaries for hire, for sure.
Okay.
I was thinking the same. Do we want to head? Okay.
Yes, Hendrix. What were you trying to say?
Well, you said you need something, so now I'm all ears. What do you need?
A rest would do.
Well, why don't we go back to Hella's, where the name's left me now.
The Jade Lion?
Yes. We could have a short rest there, go for food, pack up the ship, and leave.
It's not a bad idea. And if anything, we can have Theodosia send a message to Segranis and can meet us in the ship instead.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good point. Hold on. Segranis is by himself, and he left to go off by himself to do research?
I mean, he is staying in a different hotel, and
how far away is that one from the Jade Lion, sorry.
Not too far. Now I wish I did Jade Tiger. I mean, that sounds even
That's the sister one in the other city.
Right, yeah. Sure. That's the one on the other side of the coast. It's not as good. As good. I mean, it's bigger and it's bolder, but is it the same? No. Mm. Do they have the fountain? Do they have any of? No, it's nowhere near the same. Okay, then.
Yeah, he's staying at the Sapphire Cloak, which is.
See, that sounds like an absolute baller strip club.
You also know that you had told the tailor to meet you at the Crispy Pig later on.
Sure. I think we can. Okay.
I'm just dropping all the things.
Yeah. I remember all of that. I turned to that and I'm like, look, obviously we're meant to be meeting people in 6 hours' time. I don't know how smart it would be for us to still be going to a restaurant and just hanging out and just eating some food and waiting on a tailor to give us clothes.
Hey, truthfully, if we go to Segranis, hotel, maybe that would be the best bet. All I know is if he comes with us to the restaurant, I'm not going to be worried because that man shocked the crap out of me, so I know he can deal with some damage. Sure.
I am hungry.
Sure.
I could eat.
I could eat too.
Probably at 1 or 2 o'clock. So you'd still have about 4 to 5 hours before you're supposed to be meeting at the restaurant.
So we can squeeze out a short rest inside.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. And
those of you who could meditate for 4 hours could probably even get a long rest.
If only someone here knew how to do that.
I know, just if only.
Not gonna happen.
I guess technically you can only get your sleep in for, I don't know.
I don't know how it works, man. Out of character, I have no clue. In character, not only does Randy have no clue, he has no inclination to find out in any way, shape, or form. As far as he's concerned, elves live forever because they never sleep. So someone needs to tell him.
It's coming.
Such an
so where are you guys going?
Let's go to the Jade Line. Let's hole up. Let's tell Theodosia what we know and advise that Segranis joins us, and so we're staying in one building at least together.
Agreed.
I'm knackered. I'm just knackered, guys. I don't know why I'm so tired. I shouldn't be. I am.
All right. So you guys head back to the Jade Lion.
Yeah. I'll stay at the back, just watching our retreat, making sure we're not being followed.
Okay. Why don't you give me a perception check?
I'll go forward. Can I keep an eye out on the front?
Yeah. Go ahead and give me one as well.
Kind of give us all a 360.
I got 17 for my perception.
I got absolute garbage. 11.
Watch out for that pole boss. No, just joking.
I am tired. Blood is splattering all over the place. So,
I mean, you're definitely getting looks from people as, especially Pius, but Randall doesn't look super great either.
I'm fine. I could do this all day.
Cuts and bruises and all such things, and just bleeding attracts a bit of attention as you walk through the streets, but it is kind of a warrior culture, and other than just kind of a passing interest, they don't seem to delve in super deep.
I was going to say, we're like 300 meters away from the gladiatorial arena. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like, oh, damn, they must have
just landed.
You probably hear people be like, did we miss a fight today? You know.
Did they get thrown out of the arena? That's like 500 meters. That's amazing they're alive.
But yeah, you're able to make it back to the Jade Lion without.
Hendrix, a sudden thought. We've just sent a teenage girl and her fisherman father out into the middle of the harbor to wait for a ship that is not going to go out and meet them.
Not yet.
Shall we send out a message to the ship, to the tragedy, and I'll send a message out to Emmy to go and meet, and they can stow away what they find themselves inside the... So they could do that without us having to be involved in that process.
We're on the docks now. What's quicker?
No, but no, I thought we had gone back into the actual hotel at this point.
I don't know how far away we've travelled. Like we were just leaving the docks. I was keeping an eye out behind us.
However you guys want to pull it, as far as you know.
In which case, just if you send a message off to the captain of the ship with your bird there, saying we've got.
She has a name. Daisy.
Sure. No, that's fine. I know it's Daisy. I wasn't about to say Rose.
Do you have any paper or parchment?
Do I? Yeah, I do. I feel like
you've got scrap notes and stuff.
Yeah, no, I pull out a letter from his son to his father, and I go like, oh god, and then I pull out one of the loose pages from the logbooks from the police station. And I give it to you. And go, yeah, you can write on that, mate. No bother.
I start writing, and you realise that my handwriting is extremely bad. I'm like, so what am I writing?
Tell you what, I know the guy. I can write it. That's all right, if you don't mind.
If you insist, I pass them straight back to you. No hesitation.
Yeah, fine. I just scroll out a quick message saying, goods being delivered via skiff. Please meet in the middle of harbour. Skiff operative is Emmy. Please ensure goods are held in a safe, secure area. Signed, Shield Wardens. Okay. And Randy.
I'll instruct Daisy to deliver this to the captain of which ship?
Tragedy.
The Tragedy. Just making sure the bird knows the right one. Not reminding myself at all.
When Daisy's gone, and it won't be long because there's no tragedy. Yeah. No more body expression.
Daisy heads off.
Empty rhyme. I'll give Daisy the note and send her on her way. Be careful. And I'll send her on her way.
Okay. And
you guys make it back into the suites where you guys have room. You notice that the two guards are kind of standing guard there. The table has been cleared except for like a pitcher of water and a small decanter of wine. But other than that, it's pretty quiet. There's no one else kind of bustling about there. No Theodosia at the moment.
I'll sit down at a table and get the jug and actually pour it over my hands and just wash my hands slightly and make a bit of a mess on the floor, which is like so. Start having a rest. I'll literally sit at the table and just compose myself. Start dealing with any wounds that may have occurred in that fight. Start cleaning myself up.
Hearing you guys kind of bustle in, a kind of female in her like 20s, probably human, comes out of Theodosia's rooms in like the kind of vestment style robes. She comes out. I was told to make sure any of your needs were met as far as food and drink go. Would you like me to go have the hotel prepare some food for you all? Some refreshments, beverages?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Some more water would be great, to be honest, as I start using the jug again to clean wounds.
Oh, of course. Does anyone, like, I'm not very skilled, but does anyone need immediate, is it life-threatening?
I'll point at Pius.
I'm all right.
Pius
might need some help.
I can't reach this arrow that's right here in the small of my back.
Oh,
just pull that out.
You mentioned that to us before, man. Come on.
Yeah.
I did manage to break off majority of it, but a bit of it still stuck.
I'm gonna get out.
Randy sees that, blanches, and then runs off to the toilet to yak down the toilet.
Senator L is there like, I knew you had no constitution. That's your vomiting.
Shut your face. Shut it. He's got literally nothing witty to say back to her at all. He's that tired.
The girl comes over and touches the wound, and you feel like a warm sensation kind of rush through you as you get 8 hit points back.
I like you.
Well, thank you. I'll go fetch some water and some food, and I'll have them bring that up momentarily.
Could you bring up some bread and a slab of butter for me, please, as well?
Oh, of course. Sounds good.
Could you do like a little side dish of salt and a little side dish of soot and a little side dish of pepper? No reason.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, I need you to do me a favor.
Another arrow?
Who are you talking to? Sorry.
I can get to that arrow. I look at the servant girl.
Oh, yes.
I lean over close to her. Could you bring my friend over there with the bird named Daisy? Could you bring him lots of cake?
I'll put the request in. Yes. We can have cake brought up.
Good.
Lovely.
I look at him, I'm like, one time, I go straight for the cake, and now I'm the cake guy.
What happened with the cake? I don't understand. Was this with my brother?
Nothing wrong.
Yeah,
with
actually,
cake.
the first time we all met.
You did
one of the first
after
times
you
we
ate
went.
cake.
There was the hospitality of the place. There was cake on the side. Don't get to eat much cake.
To fight
Nice,
after eating it.
Yeah. Was it a quiet place? Nice, friendly vibe? You felt at ease having a bit of cake?
Yes and no.
A lot of dead things that roamed around.
But they weren't where the cake was. So, yes and no.
Cake. Yeah. Cake is cake. I get it.
That is where I got this stone from. And I pulled out the stone.
From the cake?
No, from the place.
Okay. All right. Well, I all I know is that I've been doing cake-related puns at you this entire time purely because Lucius said it would be funny. So
I take a look at Lucius and I'm like, bastard.
I couldn't help myself.
All right. Can I take a short rest, please, GM?
Yeah.
Can I do the full long rest elf meditate?
Yeah, you probably end up not having much of a choice. You just kind of like sit down and your various like same version of just like nodding off. You know, you're just all of a sudden like this 1,000-yard stare.
I like the idea of it manifesting as well inside the hotel corridors of like Randy on jet lag, just like walking down the halls and like knocking on doors and saying, "Do you need any service?" And then just like walking off, not waiting for an answer at all. You know, like collecting people's shoes as they're like outside the different rooms. And he's just collecting a big pile and he just like drops them randomly and carries them walking.
Yeah. So after about 10 minutes or so, the girl returns with a couple of hotel servants kind of following with like trays. And it's like a couple different types of bread, some meats and cheeses, like all set out almost like arrange your own sandwich style thing with like a bowl of like grapes and apples and a couple of pitchers of water as well.
Nice.
Hopefully this works for you. I just figured something easy for you to throw together. Didn't want to have to wait for them to cook anything too major. And if you need me, I'm going to go back into the room and continue my duties over there.
Thank you. What's your name?
Sorry, I was remiss. I am Amy.
Amy. Nice to meet you. I'm Randy.
Pleasure to meet you, Randy.
So Theodosia's not around?
Theodosia went out. She had some meetings.
Is there any chance that when she's out of the meeting, you can let her know to send a message to Segranis to meet us here instead?
Oh, I could, of course. Yes, I'll have one of the hotel staff send it over.
Thank you.
I think I could just send a sending, actually. I feel like I've got that ability now. Maybe just the one time.
It was spent for the day.
Good shout. All right, good to know. That says me. Again, Randy's like, this ring is magical. Don't know what it can do. Nothing.
I mean, yeah, you had it identified by Segranis, and that's how you knew what it did and that it was spent. But you have not yet to see it dawn, so it has not regained the abilities yet.
Now we had the classic battle of Randy paying attention because it's treasure that he's got versus an old man telling him what something is and him having to listen to that.
Right.
Whoa, that's a rock and a hard place right there.
So Amy grabs some of the paper and stuff that's kind of set off to the side where Theodosia does some of her work and scribbles down a note and gives it to one of the hotel servants and instructs her, the girl that was finishing laying out the food. Can you see that this makes it to Theodosia McCrilly at the Senate today, please, as quickly as possible? And she hands her a few silver for her efforts. Well, if you have any more need of me, again, I am Amy, and I'll be in Theodosia's rooms.
Thank you, Emma.
She turns and walks.
Can I do a quick insight check on her? Like, have we seen her before? Even if it's just in the background? Or is she a completely brand new face?
I would think you've seen her in passing, if nothing else. Like, you may not have had any direct interaction, but yeah. And if you want to do a further insight check, you are definitely welcome to.
Just to make sure she is who she says she is, like an 18 on insight.
Yeah, she seems definitely willing to be of assistance. She is kind of conflicted between wanting to help and wanting to get back to what she was doing, and also wanting to stay out of your way because she knows that you guys are kind of important individuals, and she doesn't want or need to be like in the area to pick up any of the information or anything that could get her in trouble.
Okay, she's behaving as what you'd expect a servant would. Okay, perfect. Then I'll just let her go on her business and continue to tend my wounds and eat grapes and cheese. I believe that's what's on the table.
Yeah, I mean, there's like meat slices, cheese, bread, grapes, apples. So have at it. You are definitely welcome to take at least a short rest. If you are going into full kind of trance mode, Randy, wandering around doing that whole thing, then that's totally cool.
Can I ask, if I go into my trance, am I still in a position where I can play my Folkluk and Mandor? Can I play during my trance?
Yeah, I'd say you could at least strum it. I don't think you could necessarily enact such things like a song of rest to increase everyone else's ability because you're kind of tuning out.
That was the exact question. Yeah, that's fine. Because it does say if you or any friendly creatures who hear your performance, they regain hit points at the end of the short rest. So
I think that one takes
I have to take a short rest before everyone else to be able to do that for them.
Yeah. You could do it during a short rest, but that's more active than I think what a like hypnotic trance the elves would go into to fully regenerate their abilities.
Yeah. No, that's fine. Not a problem at all. I will go into my long rest mode.
Okay. It will be probably at least an hour, maybe more like an hour and a half before Theodosia comes into the room.
Is Daisy back yet?
Yeah, I'd say Daisy would be back before that.
Cool. Just any issues? Daisy.
No, it seems Daisy feels like she delivered the message and it was received. And then she probably didn't stick around too long to make sure. But
were we able to see from our windows the dock? And if so, were we able to witness the ship meeting up with the skiff at all?
Yeah, I'd say if someone was looking out to spot this, you could probably do so. Sure.
Cool.
It seems to have gone off without issues.
Okay. Good. Well, I'll tell you what. I feel like I've slept for a week.
So when Theodosia comes in, she looks you guys over. Wow, you certainly have seen better days, all.
It's been a rough week.
Yeah, I think
it's been a rough week.
People have noticed now. When I say that, I mean people notice when we're about.
Yeah.
And that may be causing too much attention now. And I'm not sure if staying on this island much longer is a wise decision.
Well, I do believe you have many things you are working on that may require not being here on this island. Our festivities here will be wrapping up shortly anyways. I could just send you guys ahead or exit myself. I think I've concluded most of what I needed to do here.
I would advise that. If we're leaving, you'll be left without a secure
your shield. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. All right. Well, she walks over to her room and knocks on the door and opens it. Amy, we're going to be departing shortly. Can you start having my things taken to the ship?
I absolutely book it out the hotel at that point. What? I just shout out, Pios wanted some food. I'm just going to quickly dash out to the smoked pig and grab hold of as many racks of ribs as 5 platinum pieces will get me, and just come storming back into the hotel with this big pile of wide baby back ribs.
Didn't happen to see any parcels for me while you're there, did you?
No, I was meat.
Well, I just remember we had that guy delivering.
That guy's not going to deliver to us, man. That guy tipped off the other people.
I thought we were going there to go fight for our food.
We don't need to fight for our food. I just got it. You're welcome. We're leaving.
It is not the same.
Tell you what. Let's eat some food here, nice and safe. And then when we get on the ship and we're out of here, you can have a proper fight with Lucius. That'd be fine.
I do not want to eat Lucius.
No, you can.
I wouldn't suggest that. It tastes horrible.
You can fight him, but eat the ribs. This shouldn't be this hard.
But they had pig wrestling.
I'm sorry, there's no pig wrestling for you. I will.
We can grease Lucian up, and you can try and catch him later.
Perfect. I have the butter right here. We can absolutely do that.
Pick up the butter and the pepper.
I hold on to the soot and the salt. Put that in my pocket.
Right. So what's the immediate plan? You've just come back with coming back with meat.
I figure between if you've got 5 hours there and I had a 4-hour trance, I had an hour period to grab that stuff and have it back by the time Theodosia says they want to leave. Oh, that's a good shout. Is Segranis joining us?
Oh, yes. He was due to come here as soon as he could. He was in the middle of something at the time. Not exactly sure what, but he said he was indisposed at the moment, as he does in his, kind of lack of personality sort of way.
Is he trustworthy?
Segranis? I trust him with my life.
Have you actually trusted him with your life?
I tend to not put him in such positions. He is the court wizard. But he and I have worked well together so far. You tend to not argue too much with a man who could probably just delete you from existence.
You sure can.
I'm genuinely worried about having not revealed the rubbings and the simple fact that cave is for his family. Do you think I should tell? Do you think we should tell Segranis?
I kind of already did.
Yeah, he told him everything, didn't he?
I told him that he should check out the cave and that there was, you were there when I did it.
I gotta tell you, man, I was kind of tired by that point. All right. Well, in that case, I don't feel bad about it. Cool.
Just look at it this way. I trust him, but if anything happens and he's not, he's a bad guy, then we'll just have to, delete him, like she said.
You hear from the doorway, you kind of left out the whole acid trap thing and that whole breaking that and acid getting all over my wonderful area, but thanks for that. And you see Segranis in the doorway with a stack of
like that
and a backpack full of things.
Well, you have easy access now.
Oh, hey, Segranis. Didn't see you there. Good to see you, old buddy, old pal.
I did mark off the areas.
You think when you'd show me a teleportation circle rubbing that I'm going to go through the front door?
I mean, no?
Well, I mean, why go through the hassle when you just go straight to where I wanted to go?
Yeah, I actually have no problem with that.
You got something useful, I don't know.
Started to. Time was more limited than I was hoping it would be, but it is something that I had kind of stopped hoping would exist. So I do appreciate it.
Well, you've got the teleportation, so you can now use the front door, I assume, whenever you need to.
Yes, I can jump in whenever I want.
Lovely.
I turned off the acid, so it's not going to destroy my library.
Yeah, that's always a good idea.
How did you do that?
Yeah.
Because it was like that when we got there, just pissing out everywhere. And
we wanted to try and stop it.
We just didn't know how.
Yeah.
And someone else just happened to shatter the pillar.
Oh, that was me. I did that. I absolutely shattered that pillar. It was important at the time. If we had a big, powerful spellcaster, I'm sure we could have actually come up with a logical thought, but we don't have that. We've just got muscles over there, violence over there, Swordy Boy over there, and me with the sweet, sweet lyrics. That's it. I mean, no magicians over here.
All right. Anyways, thank you all. I hear that you are leaving the island.
Yeah. We don't want to overstay our welcome. And
any more than we have already overstayed our welcome.
Well, I didn't want to add that bit,
Yeah. But we went to the after party and then we went to the after party and now we're just staying on someone's couch. I think we need to just leave.
That gets awkward, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have a few things for you anyways. At least, I had mentioned I would get some things for you, and given that you have rediscovered a trove of information that I thought was lost, I brought something. And he's got this stack of books in his hands, and he looks around, he sets it down on a side table and pulls out his backpack, and he pulls out a wooden box that's probably, about a 6-inch kind of cube, sets it down on the table, and then pulls out another, out of his backpack, he pulls out 2 other potions that are kind of sitting there. One's kind of like this, almost like a crystal blue, like a light blue. You can still kind of see through it, but it's a bluish color on the lighter side and shimmers a little bit. The other one is a white liquid that almost seems like there's little bolts of energy, kind of rushing through it. So I thought these might help. The box is one for each of you to hold on to just in case. Something to heal you up a little bit. Greater healing potions. 4 of them. The other ones, he pulls up the crystal blue one. This is a potion of mind reading. Drink it and allows you to simulate the effects of a detect thoughts spell. Only good for one use, but could be handy. You never know in your line of work. And this one in particular, and he hands it over to Lucius, it will give you for 1 minute anyways, resistance to lightning. In case you find yourself in a shocking situation again.
Thanks. I do appreciate that. Hopefully you don't have to attack me anytime soon.
I have 3 other things that I could get for you if you... he pulls out 3 rolled up pieces of paper. Well, if only you had some powerful spellcasters. He sets it down on the table. These are 3 fun little spells I have found useful over my time. One replicates a spell that allows you to move quickly, deal damage to those around you, and avoid taking damage as you run past them. Another one can create a temporary fortress for you. A tower of defense. Secure location. It would last, I believe, for about a day. And finally, never can go wrong with the dispel magic.
You're muted, bro. Randy. We can't hear you, Randy. What are you saying, Randy?
Stupid elven vocal cords. I'll just take these spell scrolls. No worries, it's fine. I'll just tuck them in here. We'll find someone who can actually spellcast it. It's all right, mate. No bother.
All right. Now, I hear we're going. I think I'll accompany you back to the island if you guys are okay with my company for a little bit.
Yeah, sure. As long as we can count on your help. If anything goes awry, I can't see why not.
All right. I have some reading to do anyways, so a nice voyage would be great.
Perfect. Do you like ribs?
Oh, actually, I do. Those from the crispy pig.
In his lap. There you go, chap. Have one of them.
All right. Pulls one out and munches on it. It's rather good.
Is there anything worse than the idea of 5 guys miming eating ribs?
Yeah, right. No, we're good.
It's anti-asthma right there.
Yeah, so you guys can gather up your things.
I grab my rucksack from the room, the random shit in it that I hardly ever use, and realise I still got half a bottle of Grimnock lifeboat wine in there, and realise put that back in from the ship, and then realise all the other alcohol we took, and then start emptying it from the pockets into my bag. And I've got a nice little stash, and look around, and are we taking a cart? Are we walking down there? Probably best to get car.
From the ensuite bathroom, you just hear this clatter of noise, and you just see me with like an empty pillow bag where I've just literally gone like and just taken all of the toiletries and just dumped them into the pillow. They expect you to take it. They work it into their expenses. They get upset if you don't do that. It's good for their stock. It's good. I'm helping. Conditioner, coat hangers.
Someday he might realize that not only does he come from money, he has money now.
Yeah.
I look very curiously at that one. I'm like, my experience, the people who have money keep the money by not spending the money in any way, shape, or form. You've never met more tight-fisted people than a millionaire. I'll tell you that right now.
Probably. I didn't. Well, came from a weird situation, so I suppose I don't.
All right, I'll give you an example. What's her name? Galoppi, Morosi, the hippogriff lady. Yeah, you know hippogriff stables. Fact, never been renovated in 2 generations. Yeah, that's a simple building violation code. They just rather pay that off than actually build up an extension on that. Those hippogriffs are living in a place where they're literally going to get collapsed as soon as there's like bad weather. They don't care. They're saving money every year.
Fair enough. Well, shall we head out? I took the liberty of having a couple of coaches come.
Oh, fantastic.
Great.
I'll head down first and just, to be honest, I'm keeping my nose out for that tailor, just on the off chance we pass him. But other than that, yeah, I'll be the first one down and the last one in the cart, basically. Being, when the kid's like waiting for the ice cream man to come around the corner. Like,
so this is about the time that you guys had instructed him to meet you there. So as you guys are like exiting, Theodosia will just take a moment and say, was there any other business you guys had here in the city? I could send Amy ahead and try to track down anything and do anything for you.
I'll mention that a tailor should be dropping some clothes off at the Crispy Pig because I thought we were going to spending more time. But
all right, I'll send Amy over to see.
Wow, Amy, you go over there. See if you can bring back one of their live hogs.
Are you going to have that pig running around our ship?
Can I give her...
Amy?
He's going to ride the pig, maybe.
Give her 5 gold.
Theodosia puts her hand out on top of yours as you're trying to do that. Just, Amy, take the guards. Go to the Crispy Pig. I don't need a pig on the tragedy. We have some wonderful, already dead animals for us to eat.
I cannot I cannot fight the dead.
No,
Randall,
no.
Can you bring it back to life or unlife?
I have an idea. Bear with me. I guarantee you will be able to wrestle this thing. All right?
Farewell, then.
All right.
I've got an
Amy,
awful idea.
You can go. The rest of us, please just get into a wagon. And there's already like servants that are like loading like chests of Theodosia's stuff onto kind of like a flatbedded wagon behind these 2 gilded like coaches. They're enclosed kind of stagecoach style sort of things.
And help Theodosia onto the cart. She pays the bills, got to keep it clean.
Thank you, Hendrix. She slides in to the coach. Segranis will climb in and sit next to her. So there's another cart that's empty so far. All the servants are kind of waiting back. Segranis and Theodosia is in one. There's probably room for a couple more in there if you want, or there's empty.
I'll follow in after Theodosia and sit next to her in that cart. There's obviously another space in here if anyone else wants to get in. If not, I'm happy to ride solo for now.
I'm going to grab Pius and put him in there.
I am not going in there.
Disagree?
Make me.
And I quickly climb on top of the wagon.
The first one or the second one?
I'm going to probably move to the second one.
Okay. So Hendrix is on the first one inside. Lucius, you're in the first one inside. Pius, you're on the second one on the outside. I'm going to take the second one on the inside.
Okay.
Just to hang out with the servants and just, act like I'm one of them.
All right. Sounds good. Once everyone is situated and the whole thing is loaded up, you guys make your way down to the docks. It's not a long trek, a bit of like moderate pace just due to traffic and stuff of people and carts moving around, but you're able to make it down to the docks pretty easily, pulling up like right up next to the dock where the tragedy is currently docked at, tied up. But you do see a lot of activity aboard the ship as the various sailors are kind of running around, manning things, prepping things, double checking, the riggings and the sails. You have some people that are like up in the mast, kind of looking over all the sails. You see the halfling that kind of captained the ship last time standing, down by the dock, kind of overseeing things. You see another figure that is standing up by the helm. He has like a shaved head, and he's got a band of black cloth that is tied over his where his eyes are. But he's standing up near the helm, kind of running his hands over the wheel a little bit, and dressed in fine clothes, kind of like a black suit with like a white kind of like frill kind of popping out through the top. He's got a rapier strapped onto his waist.
The rapier, is it ornamental or is it or does it look like it's worn? Like, has it been used, or is he just dressed up for the sale?
Yeah, you are an experienced enough soldier to know that the rapier definitely is, it's got some ornament to it, some jewels to it, but not overly so that it looks unfunctional. Why don't you give me a Arcana roll?
Okay.
Let's hit some strong
Okay. I got a natural 20 for a 19 total.
Nice. With that, you spot just like a special, like almost shimmer to it. You're not trained in your magical uses, but you have use of magic. And what little you think that rapier is actually magical of some sort. You don't know exactly what or how, but you do know that it is has some sort of job.
Okay. I'll ask if there's anybody on the ship. I'll be like, who's been on the ship? I'll give him a nudge. Like, who's that guy?
That is Captain McCreely.
I sent him a letter. Oh. Oh, I feel bad now because I'm like, how did he even read it? Oh.
It's all right. That's what the first mate does. And he nods towards the halfling, who's kind of directing people and the loading of the ship. And several sailors kind of rush down and start running over to the carts and start unloading the carts.
Captain looks fierce. I'll just pass that back. That something about the captain. I don't want to cross swords with him, even if he is blindfolded.
No, he's a blindfolded swordsman. There is absolutely no part of you that could ever win that in any story ever.
I'm so glad you have the same confidence in me that I have in myself.
It's really not about you. If that guy, the only way that guy could be any more of a badass is if he had a perfectly manicured and fitted white three-piece suit. That is the only way. I mean, at that point, you're like, well, we're all going to die. We should just do what he wants and then jump off the ship.
As you guys start walking up the gangplank, you hear the captain kind of boom out. Sister, you made it. Starting to wonder. Theodosia walks up to the top deck, gives him a hug.
When he said sister, did he mean actual blood-related sister? Like, are they family? When they hug, do I get the sense they're family?
Yeah, it seems that there's definitely like a close connection there. Some more familial.
I relax a little bit more now. I'm like, family.
Oh, yes, sorry. This is my brother, Matthias.
Nice to meet you.
I introduced myself and I put a hand out to shake and then realised quickly and pull it back away.
His hand darts out and grabs yours really quickly.
Oh, it's in shock. Right. I just shake. Like,
I get that a lot.
So, what's the deal with the eyes?
An unfortunate accident. But I still do okay.
Is it a good story? Does it involve whiskey? And if it doesn't, can we involve whiskey during the storytelling?
I start pulling out the stuff from my bag. I'm like, I don't know that one.
Why don't we get underway and we can have dinner?
Sure, Captain. Did my goods come on board from Emmy?
Yes. He is downstairs, made comfortable.
Okay, good. I'm going to call to Amy to go to Emmy with a money pouch of 5 gold pieces and 5 platinum pieces. Oh, and I'm going
she's been taken care of.
Okay, right. Just making sure she's got their monies up, that's all.
Yes, I left her with a little gift. No problem. And you see Amy kind of running up the dock from the city, carrying like a package that seems to be wrapped in a like red velvet kind of thing. She runs up. Oh, sorry, I didn't want to miss the ship leaving. He said this was for a Senator Hella and her
yeah. That's the stuff, and that just
and you see like guards that are dragging Senator Hella up onto the ship as well.
Yeah. Perfect. I'll take that and have a look at that in a bit.
All right.
Yeah, it'd be one of those like when you're alone, like try it on.
Well, the ribs smell amazing. I'm going to get us underway here if we're all set. And sister, if you want to take them into my cabin and start the food going, I will have the chefs were already working on something, so we'll have some other foods there. Let's get going. And he starts shouting out orders, and the ship like comes to life. The sails drop, the lines are like pulled back, and almost like immediately as the gangplank's like lifting off the dock, the ship starts kind of slowly moving out. And he's up there at the helm, just kind of like steering it, getting it to pull away from the ship and heading out of the harbor.
I'll just pull Daisy out and tell her to stay in the crow's nest and just keep an eye on our rear. If anyone starts following us, let me know. And then I'll probably go below deck into, I assume we have our own quarters of some sort.
Yeah.
Room,
so
or barracks area, like.
Yeah. So if you guys inquire about it or whatever, one of the crewmen leads you to a. It's not a huge room, but it is adequate enough. Base, kind of bare bones. There are 4 hammocks in there, like a bottom hammock and a top hammock. So there would be someone like hanging above the other one. There is one like wooden chest in there that's pretty sturdy with a key that's like sitting in the lock at the moment. And, like there's like 3 chairs kind of like in the corners pushed off to the side. And they tell you this room's kind of there at your disposal.
Cool. I'll just take some time on my own in there, looking at this package, seeing how fancy this tailor's clothes and what he's actually made, if that makes sense. I look it over before putting it on. Basically, I'm like, will I look like an idiot if I walk upstairs? So I just lay it on the table for a second. I'm just literally looking at it, waiting for somebody else to walk in the room so I could be like, what do you think of this? No matter who it is.
Yeah, so as you open it up, you see a dark suit, mostly black with like green, like trimming around, like it's a green band around the edges where like the buttons meet, darker buttons and lines with like a red trim that kind of goes around that area. Kind of matching pants, but it's almost like reverse in the color on the bottom. So it's green on the exterior part of it with red trim and black like on the inseam area. Kind of a reinforced metallic gold and silver kind of like shin guard and knee guard area. A little bit of frills, and there's actually like a fedora style kind of like hat in there as well. Dave, did you want to show?
Nice.
Upon the kind of breast area there, though, like on the inner part of the shirt, there's like on both sides, there's like a rose that kind of comes out, and it's like a red rose that kind of like comes up where your lapel kind of area is. On the collarless section, there'd be like a rose that kind of curls up from underneath like the barb of it, and then there's like the rose itself is like budding up top.
I lay it out and I actually look at it, and I'm actually a lot more impressed and excited than I want to let on. And I'm like, oh fuck this, no one's coming. And I put it on, and I get my cloak that changes color, and I swing it over the back so it matches the green. And I'm like, I'm doing that thing, just like looking at myself in the mirror. It's like,
and as you put it on, you can kind of tell that it's not just like a suit. And as was requested, that it is reinforced a little bit so that it is stronger material in there. And there's actually like armor plating that's worked into it, but in such a way that it's almost seamless and you can't tell from the exterior.
I take a moment to move around in it, just trying to impressed by the craftsmanship of it.
Yeah, it certainly feels sturdy and feels good. Like doesn't hinder your mobility at all.
I guess.
Do you do the taxi driver mirror speech? Talking to me?
Talking to me? I don't see anybody else in here. So you got to be talking to me.
Green flame blade.
Talking to me.
Boom blade.
Definitely would have been a boom blade.
Better not move, mirror. You're going to explode.
Yeah. I put the house. I like it. I assume there's a string underneath so it can fall back.
Yeah. There's like a little tie or whatever.
Or is it like a proper tradition?
Well, like a little bolo tie at the base of it there, yeah?
I mean, whatever you want it to be. I'm cool with it.
Okay. You Cub Scout. You took a super cool... I'm going to... Safety first.
Yeah.
I'm going to lose this outfit.
Exactly. In my head, I'm like, well, I don't want it to fall off when I'm running.
Yeah, like it tugs up underneath, and then it comes out if you needed it, and it's in there. Yeah, so there you go. That's your new outfit. You can add to your inventory.
Yeah, I will add it. And I am wearing it downstairs, and I'm going to walk, when I'm finished doing all my stuff, back upstairs like I've been wearing it the whole time. And if anybody comments on it, I'll just brush it off. Oh, yeah, it's just something I had lying around. Yeah.
Randy sees
like,
your
oh
new
my
outfit.
God.
He'll see a new outfit and he won't make any comment, but he will smile to himself as he goes, yeah, he looks good. I thought he looked good. That's good.
Pius leans over to Randy. Were we supposed to dress up for dinner?
No, you're fine. You're fine. You look great.
Right.
You look great.
Very colorful.
Yeah.
I don't think he's dressed up. I think this is just going to be his new outfit. It looks good, though. Whoever designed that color frame clearly was a bold visionary. That's what that is.
Right.
The priestess kind of looks over at you. You clean up pretty well there, Hendrix.
Milady.
What you guys hadn't eaten already of like the ribs and stuff are now like laid out on a platter, a silver platter that seems to be some sort of fowl, chicken type things, kind of laid out there. There is a couple other bowls, like silver bowls. One has like corn kind of piled up. It's already like been taken off the cob and is kind of like in there with some spices strewn atop. There's a like mashed potatoes essentially, and then some bread rolls and some butter laid out. And soon the captain walks in. My, that smells amazing.
You're welcome. Dig in. More than enough for everyone.
All right. He takes his seat in a somewhat nicer chair than everyone else's, but they're all pretty comfortable. They're like padded, solid wood. They are like dark, so they're like black cloth on there. All right. So you are her new shield wardens, huh?
Wait, did she have old ones?
That's what I was like.
Welcome to the old crew. Terrible accident. Good news. Bees, you say. To shreds, you say.
We
Some
are
move on.
The new and improved wardens.
Some were given different abilities. Theodosia says, and a few have failed and have sadly not with us anymore. It happens. But this crew's been good.
I look around at all of us and we're like, so far so good, yeah.
Yeah, so far.
So you've all met Matthias. Matthias, we have Hendrix, Pius, Lucius, and Randall.
Randy's just gone to the toilet. He'll be back in a moment.
Yes, no problem. I get it. It's
Hi, what? Huh?
No problem.
Sorry, I had to just take a massive pee off the side of the ship. I'm back now. Tell me, what have I missed from this meal?
Probably won't believe it, but he used to not be a no.
Interesting. Segranis kind of puts a rib down. Yes, was once halfling.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to work on that again. I don't think he does the elf thing very well.
Well, I mean, it's not my fault that I got given 2.5 times my weight and 2.5 times my height and all this hair, which, by the way, is ridiculous, right? I wouldn't mind so much, but I'm now carrying around a giant bow, which looks like it's only the right size bow for me. Every time I start dancing around, I'm doing this diaphanous slow motion. I keep hearing this like elven choir. What's that about? Why am I always hearing this elven choir in the background? Oh, this is not how I want to dance, man.
All right. So, shall we get you back to being a halfling?
Please.
All right. When we get back to the island, I'll have you see a friend of mine.
Wait, can you just turn people into like other things?
No, I don't have that power, but a friend of mine, I think, would have the ability to reverse the effect.
That can happen?
Anything can happen if you know the right things.
Okay. Then let's do that immediately, if not quicker.
I mentioned before that it could be done. It's just a matter of, did you want to take the time? It's always the issue for us.
I don't know if you noticed, but we caught the big bad. There's literally no other threats that face this entire world. You're welcome. We took care of business.
Yes, nothing. No demonic incursions. No issues like that.
I mean, okay, sure. All right. I guess let's go deal with the demonic incursion before we...
Talking about that, I have something for you to look at real quick, and I'll hand them the compass real quick.
Yes, your wonderful compass. It appears... I can't get the map open. There we go. Appears to be pointing mainly south.
It was given to me by my father, something to do with the demons, I believe.
Yes, if what he was saying is true, I think it points to the largest, most pronounced location of demon activities. There were some of these that were used by our forces back before the shattering. Obviously, it didn't do us a lot of good. He hands it back over. It'll help. In fact, keep an eye on it as we move. It might help us triangulate where your particular issues might be lying.
Okay. We actually rescued our friend.
Yes, Theodosia was telling me. I met the Katrina as well. It's a good thing. You never know what would happen kept in that position for too long.
Yeah, she looked quite scary when we found her. Scared too.
Don't blame you. Doing minor scourings of her thoughts, using, of course, her permission. It appears she was down there for, about 4 months' time.
Wait, she's been down there for 4 months now?
Yes. However, it would seem, what would that have been for you guys? Mere days, I think.
How do you know it's been months for her?
I read into her thoughts, experienced what she experienced for a while.
Wow, you did that from here?
I saw her. I visited her in person.
Oh, still impressive. Went to a demonic hellscape and came back again. No big deal.
How
no,
is
it's
she
very
well?
impressive.
Is she
well?
She's doing well. She's mending. She's a little weak still. Just getting back some of her motor control, being tied up for so long. She's healing, and it's more mental, I think, at this point. Deal with the tortures and the pain of being tied up by demons for 120 days or so is pretty awful. So it would seem, anyways, from what I can tell, is that time down there moves about 10 times faster than up here. It's a strange paradox, I think. But yes, it seems like their time can accelerate. I don't know whether that's fixed or whether it's variable or controllable.
Okay.
It explains a lot, actually. It explains how they could possibly have managed to overcome our forces so easily when they could have 10 days to every one of ours to gather their forces and prepare for striking. Not to mention, when you're dealing with demons who can be banished, means they come back 10 times faster.
Right.
My God, I didn't even think about that.
Think about that aspect.
So we need to kill them instead of banishing them, basically.
Yeah, banishing is not really an effective way to handle a demon or a devil. Are these demons or are these devils?
How.
hard to exactly say. When we fought them, it seemed like there was a strange combination of both. Not really ever working in direct concert, of course, but I believe there were more devils that were controlling things and unleashing demons into certain targeted directions.
Okay.
Do you remember the name of the demon lord guy that we saw down there?
I didn't see anyone. I missed all of them.
Not off the top of my head, but I did try chucking an axe at his face. So,
It's an axe face. This is it.
yeah. No, but yeah.
Yes, I've got it somewhere. I think it's Gadar, but
Can I ask a really embarrassing out of character question?
yeah.
Did we save her? Is she saved at this point?
Yeah, it was the session you weren't
Yeah,
here.
we saved her.
Yeah,
We went down.
we definitely saved
and
her.
we got her out.
Okay, fine. I was wondering. Okay, so she's back home now.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So we don't need to go and find her. So we don't have to worry about a demon horde.
Yeah, but we found information like the shit about some collars.
Right.
Basically, when somebody dies, their soul will go to the pairing collar of the person. So there's a suspicion that demons are using these collars to get up to our world in the bodies of other people.
Is that technology in any way, shape, or form similar to the spider technology?
It did look. I think it's old.
Right, but what I'm saying is, does it have that same cryptid-inducing mixture of flesh and wire?
It's a collar. So.
They were collars, so there wasn't no mix. It was more of a old, like, minimalistic. I don't think there was many runes on it either. Trying to go from memory now.
This is why you should never miss a D&D session. You should never do it, guys, because when you do it, you miss your friend being rescued from a devil plane of existence.
Mm.
And then no one mentions it. They're like, Tuesdays.
It's down there as well.
Let's just would definitely mention to Segranis that the people that we helped rescue down there, they mentioned this demon lord or devil. His name was Gadar. I don't know if that helps any.
I mean, it gives me something to study, at least. There's probably many of them at this point. If they get 10 years to every one of ours, they've had 3,000 years down there to prepare and destroy our realm.
Did they die down there? Do they get permanently destroyed or no?
That's an interesting question. I'll have to see exactly. It's strange because it is both the material world and probably no longer exactly the material world. A maybe 10th layer of hell at this point.
Interesting. They've literally made hell on earth.
Yes, it would appear so from all the images I got from your friend.
Well, I don't know. This. Go ahead.
What was that?
It's like a dream world before I realised where we were.
Well, I think you all got lucky. Somehow she was able to pull you guys to her. And somehow you were able to return and even bring her with you.
We are the mighty shield wardens.
Yes. Stumbling into success. I like it.
Yeah, you got me there.
That kind of compliment. It's fine.
I mean, honestly, if I didn't have some strange luck myself, I wouldn't have been here either. Had I not been wounded, I would have enacted some of the spells that cast the shattering. And I wouldn't have
been healthy. If we're in a position where right now we're heading back, we're going to be a few days before we get back to our town.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it would be a couple days journey.
Are we in a position where not heading straight to our own island makes sense? Is there another island for us to hit up?
If you desire, there is indeed. Let me look at my map. So you are on the capital, Demos. Now, as you head towards Vassos, you will pass 2 islands. Milas will be on the eastern side, and you'll pass New Sulan, both to the kind of to the south and west, depending on where exactly, which point you're looking at it from.
Okay. How do they fit within the pantheon of? Are they our allies?
I mean, these are all parts of the Leitong, so they're all individual kingdoms that.
No, yeah, I'm saying that within those. Their own kingdom, city-states, and island states, are there any that currently we have good relations with or bad relations with?
Right now, let's see. Right now, Milos to your eastern side is probably closer tied to Vassos as you guys deal with that eastern border more and the defense of that eastern border. So your major threats tend to be from the barony. And so there's time to time that you two are called to kind of like come in to fight off or to patrol certain areas.
Okay.
New Sulan, probably a little less so. But it's, altogether it's a tenuous situation anyways, but New Sulan is probably, you guys always feel that they have been a little bit like stuck up or coddled. The kind of softer island as it's in the interior and has less threats also is one of the original places that the Leitong people had kind of like formed and expanded from there. So they feel like they have this historical precedence that puts them as better than the other islands that have later joined this confederation.
Okay. I guess I got a couple of questions I wanted to ask real quick. I'm so sorry. Is there anyone following us at all on the horizon? How many days travel do we have until we get back to our island? And is there a sense... Do we have a sense within the group what our next steps are once we get onto land?
Okay. So the captain, I'm just going to do this out of voice so that my voice doesn't hurt as much. The captain will explain that you have about 2.5 days or so of travel as long as the weather remains fair. So you have about 2.5 days, in case that didn't make it through, to get there, depending on how fair the weather is. And you get to, so far, it doesn't appear that any ships are following you, as he's reported anyways. So it doesn't seem like there's any activity that seems to be deliberately following us. As far as the other one was a kind of clear point as to what to handle. The only other major problem I think that you guys have looming over you is that the collar was taken and that they put it on. And I think you even had interaction with him. Did you not? Forget when I was back. Yeah, I think there was at least one name, but I'm not 100% sure. Dink.
Dink?
Hmm?
Did you say Dink?
No, I said I think it was Sadrian was the name.
Rings a bell.
And I believe that was the name of the one that, because I think that's the name of the one that was given of who is now currently in Crow's body.
Right.
Professor Crow's body. So there's that. Randy had expressed previously the thoughts that Hela is working with others and the worry of who that might be and what that might entail.
Yeah.
Those are your kind of two things that are looming out there.
Okay.
And it's up to you what you want to go after and how you want to deal with it.
No, we're not going to make that choice whilst we're on the ship. We're going to do 2.5 days on it. I guess Then over the next 2.5 days, I'm going to liaise with Theodosia, Hendrix, Pios, Lucius, and Segranis, show everything that we've got in terms of documentation, go over it again and again and again until we just know absolute crib notes and try and work out not just only people of interest and how they relate to each other, but try and actually develop a sense of chronology of how they've interacted over time and how that's actually, what actually happened during that time period. Being able to line up what was happening on the same day or the day before and the day after of the senator being assassinated. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Trying to actually build a big actual case so that by the time that we land, Theodosia can just offload that onto her legal team, judiciary team, and they have the evidence to hand in the most easy ordered manner. And we know that we haven't missed anything.
Okay, sounds good. I think that's probably a good point for us to take a short break. And thank you all the watchers out there. Thank you those who someone gave a subscription. So that's really cool for you to hand out stuff like that. Thank you so much for supporting us. We do appreciate that. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us for yet another XP Guild show. If you are enjoying this, please do us a favor, click like, subscribe, hit the bell notification if you want to be notified when our next show goes live. Feel free to drop us a comment. We'd love to hear from you guys, hear your thoughts on the show, or anything else you want to talk about. I'd like to take a quick moment to say thank you to our friends over at Hero Forge, a Sky Castle LLC product. We are not sponsored by them, but if you're looking for great custom miniatures, check out HeroForge.com. They've been so kind to let us use their art, as many of the miniatures and artwork that we use come from their website with their permission. However, they have not reviewed our content, and so what we do does not necessarily represent their views or beliefs. Again, thank you to Hero Forge. Now, let's get back to the show. Welcome back, one and all. As we have disappearing players. So when we left off not too long ago, the party was kind of gathering and setting out for their journey, making their 2.5-day journey back to Tassos, their island. Meanwhile, I believe the plan was to kind of peruse all the stuff you gathered from Senator Hella during that trip back. Was there anything in particular or anything else we're looking to gather during that time?
Hendrix personally, no. I'd probably just assist helping them with the timeline for the evidence, just trying to put everything together in like chronological order so it starts to make sense. But then for the other days, it would literally just burning time, trying to figure out what our next move is, seeing what the rest of the group is thinking.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. Over the course of the time between you guys looking and Segranis and Theodosia, kind of collective think tank, you go over a lot of the information. You had already discovered several of the companies that she was getting paid by, essentially to give them contracts. But you also seem to discover, and perhaps with a little extra work too from Segranis, reading into the mind of Senator Hella herself to gather some information, comes up with a few other things. It appears that Senator Hella had close ties with the nation islands of Desland, who currently are going under like a fairly sizable rebellion and like civil war going on right now. So it appears that they have been sending aid and money towards Senator Hella to try to encourage her to help out their cause, at least the nation itself, not the rebel side of things, offering holdings and even titles for her over there. She seems to also have in her pocket an admiral of your island that would have direct control over this newly created fleet, along with some already established fleet and forces as well. So it appears like she was looking to send aid to Desland in the hope that this would they'd be able to win their civil war, and she would reap the benefits, along with also reaping the benefits from selling out contracts for the highly lucrative ship creation kind of trade.
Does it look like the money that she was receiving was commensurate with this kind of thing? Or did it feel like she was eager to take the deal? Is that reflected in some way in terms of how much was being thrown at the situation?
I mean, the sums of the bribes that she was receiving are pretty astronomical in and of themselves. So that alone would be a good thing. But also some of the titles and things that you were able to kind of figure out that Desland's throwing at her would be like owning considerable chunks of island estate and having a considerable amount of like power in this foreign country as well.
Okay. Do I get a sense reading through this that this was the end goal? That the retaking of Desland, this is what was Hella's final point of interest? Or do I get a sensation that this was a
stepping stone?
Right. Like, what is from, if you have a large fleet that's moved into Desland, you have access to Desland, what logistically is close to that could potentially be a viable follow-on target?
What importance does Desland have strategically?
Is there like, are there any legends of Desland in terms of mystical artifacts or ancient battles? That's a lot, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Tell me it all.
So nothing in particular. I mean, again, all the lands were shattered about 300 years ago, so there's not really a lot of ancient unless you're going to pre-shattering information.
Yeah.
It didn't seem nothing in particular strikes up at the moment. It is one of the major allies of the Leitong people, or were. It borders on the eastern side. Like, Leitong is in the west, Desland's on the east, with the barony kind of carving out a small little spot where it's one, main island kind of sits. So it is the closest kind of thing to the Leitong.
We've also got that guard locked up, or that mercenary locked up downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we do. I just don't know how much information a mercenary is going to have.
Well, they might at least know the intent of why we were attacked.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's revenge or a rescue plot.
If you guys want to question him, I'd say you can choose how you go about questioning him, whether you're going to intimidate or persuade or deceive. And I'll give you one person can roll with advantage, and we'll kind of see.
Pius, Lucius, either of you want to try and intimidate him?
I could absolutely. Hendrix and me just take a long, slow look over at Piles. Like,
the scary looking ones.
I think Pius should, and I'll help him out. And if this guy doesn't cooperate, I can break his arm or a leg.
Jesus.
All right. So, Pius, you're going to do an intimidation roll with advantage.
Okay.
I'll do guidance.
Dave's like, okay, I have no charisma, but okay.
I mean, I got a +1. I'm not proficient in intimidation either, so.
A bardic inspiration for you, sir.
And guidance.
Listen here, Pios. I believe in you, chap. You're going to go in there. Don't go shoelaces, but definitely go shoe caplets, right? The little bits on the edge there, keeping it together. Try and keep it together.
I have an idea.
Okay.
So
I'm scared already.
Since he brought that up, Pius is thinking, well, maybe I should pretend that I am going to go shoelaces on the guy. And I want to basically deceive him that I'm going to actually outright murder him and slaughter him. And the badger is going to, like, help in that process by, like, eating his toes first and whatnot, you know. But it's all a deception. I'm not really going to do that.
Okay.
Can I use my deception then?
Yeah. I mean, use whatever.
I have a +7 to that one. Now watch, I roll a 1.
But you got advantage, guidance, and bardic inspiration.
Yeah.
So
okay.
There's better chance of success.
I clicked on that button. So here's this. Okay, here we go. Ooh, snap. Okay, and then bardic inspiration, just add to the
D6.
hurt. Is a D6, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
D6 and a D4 from Lucius's guidance.
Oh, shit, monkey. Okay, then. Come on, 10. Okay, not bad. So, math. 29.
Nice.
Yeah. He seems to definitely believe you.
And I'm using my special ability, so anybody else that goes after me gets advantage on him.
Okay. So yeah, he definitely starts talking. However, he doesn't seem to know a lot. Mainly that he was contacted via a courier with that his leader was even he wasn't even the leader of it. So they were contacted via a courier with gold, saying to look out for anyone who might be coming to the hotel for or with Senator Hella, or asking after Senator Hella, and try to discover what that was. And then when you guys ran, they figured that this must be what they were, sent to figure out. And they were going to collect you and bring you, tie you up essentially, and then wait for their further instructions. It seems like the messenger was sent through Senator Hella's behest, along some lines of her having contacted someone who's then trying to do their best to try to get her free.
Looks like an ally of Hella's has got her back.
Yeah, appears to be.
Yeah.
One form or the other.
We know who that could be.
I mean, there's a long list of people that she may have...
Who's got the most to lose from her being testified?
Yeah.
Or
somebody in power, obviously.
Well, we know there's a few people we know who are on that island have been with her, like the swordsman Marcus. Like he could have done something. There's also, we know Marcus was friends with the king of the island, so it could be the king himself not wanting to use any of his own people. It could.
Well, and it was a different island that Marcus was on and friends with.
Was it not this one?
No.
Oh, my bad.
It's all good. It's tough. There's lots of islands. I get it. And since there's multiple kings, I get that makes it even tougher. So, yeah.
I don't say that.
But yeah, so there's now a long list of people that you've kind of gathered some information on. Anyone on the list of people that they would have hired, plus now this admiral that she seems to have some connections with and some control over. Of course, Marcos would be a possibility as well.
So I don't think this captain knows much else.
No. Just another dead end, isn't it?
Obviously, it would be different if we found out who sent the request in, but we're not going to find out with this guy.
But I mean, at this stage, everything tracks back to Hela. Like everything. Yeah. There's no part where it's going to a separate source. Everything comes back to Hela.
Is that because we've got Hela's stuff? And then I go through one of the names on the evidence. I'm like, if we were to rate this guy's house, would we find equally the same amount of evidence, but just incriminating him in furthermore plots? It looks like she was planning something for herself, especially with the promise of land and nobility on this island.
Yeah.
Like, was she positioning herself to take over the island?
Or was this just like, get rich, become powerful, have more influence, continue to grow? She's a politician. Like, they're never happy until they have everything. I mean, unless they're one of the good ones. And I mean, she's just one of the worst.
Yeah. Diplomatically, would she benefit anything by having land on this island? Like,
so the land that was offered was actually in the foreign country, in the desert island. Diplomatically, sure. I mean, if she's already in the Senate here, and then she would have like a good controlling power of part of their islands, at least over there, with like a nobility title that would be something like Baroness or whatever over there, which would then command a certain amount of forces, along with just the wealth that the baron, like having a baron.
Being in that position when you have such an alliance between adjacent islands, the trade route and the defense routing and the land accrual becomes bigger than the sum of its parts. Because that dead space between the skies, that's now not worried as gray area. You're all the same people.
Yeah, and for anyone who's now manipulating the policies of two different countries in some way, and perhaps having a king of a different nation, and Desland is one king who controls multiple islands,
right?
Versus you guys have one king that controls an island and then a tribune that they elect to control the multiple islands. Right. You'd have a little bit even more power because you have a king that will kind of listen and answer to your
demands,
your things. So, I mean, is there stepping stones that she seems to be taking? Yes. Is it necessarily more than anyone else who had that sort of power and position? Like, there's not necessarily like an obvious, they're going to use this power to go overthrow this other thing, or, it's
okay.
Definitely worth what you think would be, between the money and the power that she's going to gain would certainly be motive enough. If not, any future thing would be even more lucrative. So,
it's a lot of money, a lot of power, and a good position to make more easier without putting.
A thought occurs with regards to the land that she was being promised. Do we have any maps that would show those particular areas?
I would think that the captain aboard the ship would probably have some maps that they could pull out and show you kind of the regions of it.
Yeah. I mean, what are we looking at? Any items of interest or topography? I don't know, like an ancient extinct volcano, or
I was going to say
curious mirror rune in the shape of a flat Earth.
Yeah, mountains known for their ore or something like that.
Yeah, is there like a cloud that just won't go away?
I mean, the island that was kind of proposed as, at least the section of an island was kind of proposed would be upon the one that is the closest to the Leitong as well, like kind of the mirror, the one that would be on the directly east from Vassos. So as far as that goes, strategically a good location for her to have a spot,
Right.
Including control over a fairly decent port city and the much of the income that would come from that. I don't think anything necessarily stands out as like, oh, this particular ore and everything. That would probably have to be more research into the specific island and Desland as a whole. They are, what they are producing.
Okay. Okay. I'm just checking for digging in the wrong place vibes. I don't know about you guys, Lucius, Pios. I don't know, but I mean, I feel like we've gotta. There's nothing more there in terms of, like, there's a point where you just gotta let a case go, right? We've arrested her. We've got the evidence. We've got the proof. We've got names to follow on. We've handed it to the people who would actually handle the case.
So now we go to war.
Now we can just go to war against demons.
That's a sentence I didn't think I'd hear today.
Huh?
So that's a sentence I didn't think I'd hear today.
Yeah. I can't believe I said it. Let's go fight some demons.
So, what demon do we go after first?
I don't know the first thing about it at all. All I've had is like a vague vision of what was happening with you, but honestly, there was alcohol, so how much can you really remember? It looked bad. It did not look like a fun time.
It was interesting, to say the least. Unfortunately, we left people behind, which is disturbing.
We got a magical compass. We could try to go back and see what happened.
Well, then, who did we leave behind?
Those people there.
We found refugees, like people living down there among the demons. There was a cave that we found some dwarfs that seemed to be held up there, quite secure. But other than that, if you're out and captured, you're as good as theirs.
How did you get out again?
They had no metal either.
They had no metal.
No. I remember I've left one of my hatchets somewhere there after missing the demon's face and going, it's just a random axe. Whoever finds that should set themselves lucky, like you said this.
Unless there's something there that eats all the metal.
Or they've used it for other things.
Yeah.
They're like we figured out, they've had 10 times as much time down there than we have up here. Resources could be running out.
Problem is, of course, even if we can get someone to get us there, how do we get ourselves back? And them as well.
We were lucky enough to find somebody down there that had the ability, but I don't know if that's going to be a dime a dozen or we were just extremely lucky.
Yeah.
They were old. They might be dead now.
Does their time not move 10 times as fast as our time?
Exactly.
Dwarves live for a long time.
But also, if that demon tried to get in to find us, we don't know the outcome of that mountain down there.
No.
But these collars, and I'll start. Did we have any of the used collars or just broken? Because I remember there was a box of collars down there, and I feel that we brought them with us, or at least broke them so they couldn't be used.
I believe you tried to bring them with you. And I want to say when you teleported back, the only thing that came with you actually was Karina.
Okay, so the necklaces ended up just staying down there. Okay. Mm-hmm. But we know we've got this. What was the professor's name?
Crow. Professor Crow.
Yeah. We believe he might not be himself anymore and maybe have taken over by a demon. So maybe finding him is an optional goal.
Then we can break his legs and find out more information.
Exactly.
Segranis, who I'm assuming is sitting in on most of these conversations, would pipe up. The being that is in your professor is probably not actually demonic or devil in nature. Was once very much a human. The way these things worked was the colors transported the creature upon death into the body of a new host. So it would put the mind, the soul, whatever essence into the new creature, bringing skills and abilities and knowledge.
So it's the essence, not the memory. So it's not a person controlling a new body. It's the new body getting the abilities of the last.
No, it's more like a person taking over and controlling,
and bringing their skills with them. Okay.
Yeah, like an overwrite of the old body.
Yeah, that's useful and scary all at the same time.
So
is it permanent?
As long as far as I know, yes. As soon as death from the original body happens, they take over the other body.
Right. Okay.
So he could be dealing with someone who is thousands of years old.
Yes.
That has been jumping bodies.
Yes. We hadn't discovered about it until the invasion 350 years ago or so. But theoretically, this would have been something they figured out sometime before my people were, as we like to call it, exiled. Which would be some 700 years before, so somewhere in between that time.
Sometime during the last 1,000 years.
Of our time. If theirs down there runs 10 times slower.
So anytime in the last 10,000 years.
Yeah.
Maybe, somewhere in there.
How old are you?
Well,
I'm only 473 years old.
Not bad.
I was just a young pup when the battles began.
Hendrix is just holding his head so confused at the moment because he's like, if time is slower down there, but no, it's faster down there. And he's like, but were the islands all together at one point? And then did time slow afterwards? Or is it always? He's like fully deep dived now into the time situation. He is lost trying to understand it. He's like,
he'll look over and see, kind of nod. Yeah, it's strange, but most nowadays don't remember pre-shattering time. Those few that survived don't talk about it too much, I suppose. But a little over 300 years ago, a great spell was enacted by my people, shattering the world, taking chunks of the land that was and raised it up. So all of this land was once part of what was below. The mists had come with the invasion forces and continued to come and swallowed up everything that we could see below us. So what we have is a series of islands that were regions, small, enclaves that had fought off the demons at that time, but were all at great risk of losing it all. So, to save everything, a group of spellcasters, other members of my order, cast a major spell, breaking the world and lifting it up. I would have been one of them had I been not incapacitated by a massive attack that left me. And he gestures towards the scarred face and charred, fire burn marks. Had I not been like this.
So, were you knocked out, put into a coma?
Yes. I suffered massive damage. My body was severely hurt. The number of healers we had at hand were pretty limited. And I was left in the care of a group of people back then we called Sulan San. It was an half-elven nation that would eventually develop into this, the Leitong, after shattering.
Right. I understand. Well, but with you staying alive, it did mean that the Leitong have had instruction in the magical arts and continued growth within that field.
It's helped, that's for sure. And I fought as best I could to keep, I guess to reassert the use of arcane power, for it was outlawed for quite some time in the lands below.
So you could say that due to your massive attack, you ended up with the karma coma?
Yeah, yes. Some say I was lucky, and I personally wish I had been there to help my people.
Yeah.
They call it, survivor's trauma or something like that, survivor's guilt.
I've heard of it, survivor's guilt. Yeah.
I don't know about it. Never. Doesn't seem like it.
Hope you never have to experience it.
Yeah.
Guys coming back after losing a leg guilty, seeing their friends all die.
I mean, I know it as well, but I mean, Randy's like, oh.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yes. Right. Anyway,
so,
I mean, sorry.
I don't mean to be rude, but is it safe to say you're the last of your family? Of your like your group, the spellcasters from before the calamity?
Your enclave.
There's probably a few walking around.
Do you not seek them out?
I've run into a couple over my time. We were scattered. The others were more apprentices and lower level casters at the time of the shattering. It took quite a while before the establishment of air travel was made. These ships of the air are only about a 200-year-old discovery. In fact, due to my coma, I was not fully privy of the magics that were used to create the spell that shattered the world. But it has been discovered and figured out, and I have learned quite a bit. So those that were around then, many had died by the time I was even able to travel the realms. There's a couple other elven spellcasters who were but pups at that time that are now walking around. They tend to stay with the elves.
Hendrix is going full conspiracy mode in his mind as well now from the time. And now he's like, so the pieces of the shattered land that floated, your ancestors pick those, or was it just random? Like the island itself, like we were just from, was that area picked specifically because?
Usually because they were defensible. There was an army enclave there, or a group of refugees had ran there.
Would it be safe to think that there's more of your legacy hidden underground on other islands? That more rooms like the one we located before?
It could be. So as I had kind of alluded to, the use of arcane magic had been outlawed about 1,000 years ago. We used to rule all of the area, the land we used to call Altera. When our people were challenged, when revolts began, instead of reasserting our dominance in a powerful way that would probably leave much of the land scarred and destroyed, we decided to let the nations fend for themselves for a while. Some of our major centers of power teleported away, while our capital stayed, but masked under a massive illusion in the middle of a large plain of wasteland, grassland really, but between enchantments we placed to try to keep people out, illusions to mask our presence, we were undiscovered. We sat there for hundreds of years, fine, working on our own things, gathering what we could from the worlds at large, trying to help arcane spellcasters find a refuge, a place to train and study, as I was one of those. When they finally decided that they could send out people, they came up with a sort of a cover, I guess, where you would send advisors to various kingdoms to try to help sway them subtly to reestablish the use of arcane magics. But we hadn't succeeded fully in any of those, just maybe lessened some of the difficulties and increased our chance of finding more like us. The cities teleported away we knew nothing of. At least for a long time, no contact was made. Mainly, I think, to ensure that no one found us all at once. However, when the invasion happened, I think many of us figured out exactly where that initially began. The other members of our order returned. They grew sour. Those other cities had turned into the enclaves that would summon the demons and bring them here. Would create the collars, I'm sure, and whatever creates the mists.
Okay.
So beyond survivor's guilt, I guess my order in general also has the causer's guilt, if perhaps in a roundabout way.
Guilty you survived, and guilty your people caused this mess.
Yes.
To some extent.
Yeah. Now we have to stop any return. If they're going to gather their foothold here, if it's going to happen, we need to keep it from being here in the Leitong world. We need to keep it at all. But, if these creatures with these collars come, they come with hundreds or thousands of years of experience and knowledge. And I would near guarantee that the ability to bring more of their kind and eventually perhaps even construct some way to summon the more powerful beings that help them gather their foothold there.
These just, we don't know how these collars exactly work. Are they magic, or like is it true arcane magic that makes the soul transfer over?
Oh yes.
So
some perhaps butcherized version of arcane and divine. I mean, dealing with the souls is definitely a more divine area, but
so safe to say, if we see anybody with one of these collars on, we've kind of got to take it off before we kill them.
That would be beneficial.
Yeah, because if not, we don't know where that soul's going to go.
Yeah, they're not easy to get off, from what I can tell.
I'm assuming that. Yeah,
it seems
not as easy as a dispel magic. Then.
Probably not. I mean, there's a chance, I suppose, that it could work, but it would take, a whole
hell of a focused.
Now, if you had a willing other creature, perhaps, some way, some arcane ability to open something, or if you knew where their target was.
But hey, Randy, obviously we're just talking about magic and how. Do you know any good spellcasters? Like, obviously, you know, got quite a few connections. I feel like we might. I
might know a couple. Yeah. Why? What's up?
Well, obviously, these collars are an issue, and
Sure. Could
I've
I
been
take
told
a look?
that it might be really difficult to take off. I don't think we've got one at the moment.
Fair enough then. Got all excited there for a second.
Yeah.
Ooh, a collar.
If we were to kill somebody while wearing it, there's a chance that person's essence or soul could be moved into another body.
Right.
So we kind of probably want to take them off before we kill them.
Sure.
And I don't know about you guys per se. I've seen you do a bit of magic, but I'm terrible with it. And I was just thinking we might need somebody. Like I doubted this guy gesturing over to this old burnt up wizard would want to follow us around just in case. Like,
yeah, no. I mean, simple fact is, he's talking a good game about how he wants to make sure this will never happen again, and that he has to actually take care of things because. And honestly, mate, you seem to be carrying a lot of baggage, and I'm glad I'm not having to deal with that. But as with all the will in the world, do you think that you could actually even keep up with us?
Probably not as to the sufficient status that you would need. Yeah, one day I would be able to, but I'm not a spring chicken anymore, and my wounds do leave me a little slower. I will do my best to aid you in how I can.
So you don't want to go on the road again?
Much rather not. But I will work here to prepare these islands in case you don't succeed.
I see. Okay. Well, seems a little like you're already ready for us to fail, but all right, that's fine.
You don't get to be my age unless you're ready for everyone to fail, including yourself.
I know. All right. Well,
now, as we near this island, Lucius, where's our compass pointing?
I'll take it out and see where it points.
Definitely pointing more westerly the closer you get to Vassos.
West.
All right. Okay. Somewhere south of Deimos and west of Vassos. It only really leaves two, Helat or Valos.
Well, it's got to be Helat, really, and it just sounds right.
Where the... Yeah.
Hell that.
Okay. Yeah, let's go there.
That's what you said the place is called, right?
Yeah, and it's right there. That's where hell is at. Hella.
Yep.
Yep.
Then
Helat. Hell. It's all connected.
The levels of connection here.
It's strange how that could work out, even when one made the names before they came up with storylines. Then let's get back and get you guys ready. Whatever you may need. Randall, does that include you learning out more and returning to your former self?
Yes, please, yes.
Well, on the morrow, we will reach Vassos, and then I will set about and prepare for us to visit the Oracle.
The Oracle?
Well, that's what they call it here, yes.
What? Why is it an it?
Or a them?
Them, they, it. It's sort of tough to explain. Maybe I'll let her do that, or them to do that.
Okay. Segranis, I have to commend you on your use of pronouns. That was amazing.
Certainly try.
Someone from your generation. But I guess, 450-year-old dogs can learn new tricks. Okay.
It's getting tough these days. Sometimes, never tell what people want to be called.
No. Well, okay. I don't want to be called an elf anymore.
Is there anything you want to do in the elf body before you lose it, though? Like, get anything off of a top shelf, or...
Let me see. Yes. I would like to try something. I'm going to climb up to the top of the masthead and hang out in the crow's nest and see what it's like being an extra 2 foot higher than the last time I was inside the crow's nest.
Daisy's just there looking you up and down like,
all right, you get to do it all the time. This is kind of a big deal for me. Okay, calm down. Good to see you there. I'm going to do that, and then I'll just slide back down again.
All right, cool.
But honestly, I've done the trance now. I've I feel like I know everything about this body. I've explored it as much as I want to explore it.
It's a shame, really. All those arrows you got. You're not going to be able to pick up that bow anymore.
The sudden realization comes to Randy that that's going to be an absolute issue. What am I going to do?
You could, I don't know, take the arrowheads off and let Pius use them in his sling. I don't know.
Oh, I want to use them. They're mine.
Get a short bow then, I guess.
Could a short bow work with a long bow's arrows?
Yeah, you probably could figure it out anyways.
Okay, fine.
I mean,
Then I'm gonna be
I
like,
don't think they specify that they're different, but
how much did I spend on that long? No, that longbow is yours, isn't it?
The longbow's
like
mine, let you use it, but the arrows, I think you spent what? Platinum or something like that? Because you wanted
a fair whack.
I think it was
give me 20, one of each.
10 platinum or something.
Yeah, it became a whole thing. Yeah. He doesn't spend a lot of time with like actual money, so it doesn't last very long when he has it. But yeah, I look over at Hendrix and I'm like, I'll give you back your bow and thank you for it.
Appreciate it. I just put it in my backpack again. It wasn't being used, but
it like gathered dust.
Thank you for actually giving it back and not just being one of those friends that claims it and then like 4 years down the line, I've got asked to borrow it when I need it. So,
I might nick it off you later, but I mean, I would never actually like let you lend me something and then not return it. That's rude.
Fair enough. I make sure I secure it to the side of my bag, so you need to undo a knot now if you want to steal it.
It's fair. No, that's just paying attention. I'm not mad.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you guys want to do along the journey, or shall we?
Research demons and devils, looking for vulnerabilities and immunities, things that will be useful against them and otherwise.
I'm going to wait till Lucius is having a shower or wash and take all of his clothes and douse him in oil and send Pius after him.
Oh.
There's only one way to tame this beast and give him what he wants. He wanted a pig fight, a wrestle. Give him a pig wrestle.
Oh dear. All right. After semantics and
very disturbing.
Yeah, right. After semantics, go ahead.
Pius looks at you confused. That is not a pig.
Don't look at it.
Huh. Stop being a bore.
Oh dear.
It happened, you guys.
Yeah, not even apologizing.
No.
Yeah.
No, you shouldn't. With that, you guys make it back to Vassos, docking in the capital city of Tassos. And you're home once again after quite a decent amount of time away. You guys dock in the kind of like royal dock area, which is like the temple is attached to like really closely to the king's castle or palace, more like, because they don't have like the crazy, castle type here. And I think with that, it's probably a good place for us to wrap down for today, and we'll start back up next time in 2 weeks. We'll be coming back and we'll be exploring the Oracle and what they may have to offer Randall.
What's it gonna cost?
It's
X.
My sense of style. My
Randall has a chance to be a halfling, but only a chance. Could be a null.
So you're saying there's a chance. Anyways, thank you, party, for joining us here. Thank you, amazing players. Thank you for those who joined us live on Twitch. If you do want to jump in, feel free to check us out every other Monday here on Twitch in the mornings. Otherwise, we do have games every Monday night. We have content pretty much every Tuesday day time, same time as this game, and some more Fridays and Saturdays and some Sundays. So check out our schedule. It's all up on Twitch for you to check that out. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.
Peace out, people.
Bye.